Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and every once in a while I do a video, and while I'm putting the thing together I end up blowing my own mind, and this is one of those videos. Whatever you do, watch this video all the way to the end, because I've always told you on this channel that it's all connected. And I believe that. I believe that I believe the more that I've looked at this, and over a period of 3 years, a lot of people and things that you think are at odds, I don't believe, and it's just my opinion, just based on, you put enough coincidences in front of me or anyone, and eventually they're not coincidences anymore. Wait till you see to the end of this video. So here we go. All right, first we're going to start. FudFit sent me this. Glenn Hutchins was on, he was on CNBC this morning, so watch this.
You got to explain this to me, Glenda, because honestly, yesterday I was thinking that these NFTs, these non-fungible tokens, would be the clearest sign of too much liquidity out there. Because you're saying this, I will listen, because you're very smart, you know about these things, but literally yesterday I was thinking that these NFTs were the equivalent of what used to happen back in the roaring 20s when people would light their cigars with a $20 bill or a $100 bill. You light it up and it's cool and you got the money to burn, but it seems to me that you got to be kidding me. I don't even have a trading card that I can show and put, on my desk or somewhere else that I can physically trade with somebody to get some of these things. Explain to me why this is so cool and why it will remain cool.
Well, NBA Top Shot it has an application of a digital trading card. You actually own a unique video image of a player doing a specific thing. For instance, a very popular one right now is Zion Williamson blocking a shot into the stand. No one else owns that digital image than you, and you can use it and share it and trade it on the network. Part of, I think, your question is kind of why is the world moving from, I would restate as, why is the world moving from terrestrial to digital, and why are a number of use cases or items that we want to own more digital than terrestrial? I think it's part of a broader macro trend across the economy that this stuff is still facilitating, but it's real, it's significant. That's kind of big point number one. Big point number two is there are different kinds of non-fungible tokens for sure. The ones I'm interested in are ones that are use cases for something people are doing. So the reason to buy and sell the Flow non-fungible token is that you need to buy and sell it to trade on the network, so you can buy and sell your trading cards. And by the way, these are much better. The digital trading cards are much better than the physical trading cards because they're a liquid item that you can buy and sell all the time. They're not just something that sits in your closet. So actually, and you can enjoy and share with friends and across the network. And I would say this is why in the past I've told you that I think that the right cryptocurrencies are more like copper or platinum than gold, because they have use cases and they rise and fall, not just as a store of value, but as their value in use. And this is a good example of that.
Okay, so basically if you want to summarize that, he's basically saying that these digital assets, everything except Bitcoin, does not get a free pass. Bitcoin is because we marketed it as such, and we know that it can't be used for anything else, it's going to be a store of value. That's kind of what he just said. The rest of them have to be like copper or platinum and actually have a use, okay, from now going forward. In other words, there will not be another Bitcoin created because they know it doesn't work, and they've successfully, I guess, maybe labeled it as a store of value like gold, okay? They better hope so. But moving forward, use case is everything. Utility is everything. If it doesn't have utility, it's not going to be anything. Okay, moving forward, Riz XRP, and trust me, you're going to want to see towards the end of this video. All right, Stephen Bull Diem has been really busy. He put out 3 really good videos today. I think it was 3, but here's the first.
The old traditional players. I call the banks, which are the payment service providers traditionally. They are the old traditional players. Of course, they have a business line in the payments, and they try to keep this business line. And we have heard how TransferWise, how Revolut, how Ripple, or other PayPal, they destroy the old business lines of the players, and they're.
Okay, so there's the first video. I'm going to try to go through these fast. Here's another one that he provided that was really good.
Perhaps these digital assets are securities when they're born, but after a period of time, they stop being securities or they morph out of being securities. And as best as I can tell, the SEC has never once cited an actual case for supporting this premise that that is a thing or that is possible jurisprudentially, but they continue to maintain that. So going forward, the SEC has repeatedly asserted that the digital assets are themselves securities. This makes itself particularly relevant as we move forward to the most recent large-scale SEC enforcement action that's currently underway, which is a case against Ripple Labs. Ripple Labs was the sponsor and progenitor of one of the largest tokens out there, which is known as XRP. And in the first line of the complaint against Ripple Labs, the SEC states that they believe that Ripple Labs is guilty of selling something like 14 billion of XRP tokens, which are digital asset securities. So the SEC really kind of puts a marker down saying they believe that these assets themselves are securities, without ever really finding a way to substantiate that.
Okay, so, and then here's another video that he put out. This one's good too.
It's going to be an interesting journey, and we're going to work together, right? Infrastructure providers, Uber, Ripple, we're all going to work together on making this happen. But I think the vision of instant payments being cash substitution is excellent, and it's a real cultural driver for change.
Okay, there you have it. And then finally, Real XRP Boy got us another good one with Gary Gensler. Listen to this. He calls it, I think in this one he calls it a currency, XRP.
Scams and frauds, but some of them might take off. The largest offerings have been over $4 billion. There's several that have been $1 billion plus offerings. So they're starting to compete. You're seeing Jay Clayton and the Securities and Exchange Commission saying, when is this a securities offering? When is it not? It's a very interesting area of the law and an interesting area of finance around token economics. One might think back to the private banknote days as well, that you're sort of having private banknotes for file sharing or file storage or private bank. I see Marty Grunberg from the FDIC. You probably know more about private banknotes in the history of banking than I do, but it's another form of, in essence, private banknotes, you might think. This is the market, $220 billion strong, highly volatile. It peaked at about $800 billion in January. It's been settled around 200 to 300 billion. A little over half is Bitcoin, 55% or so in that slide. But Ethereum is quite big. A currency called Ripple that you might hear in the banking sector is probably third, if I remember.
You don't say a currency called Ripple. All right, now, listen up good, folks, because for the rest of this video, I'm going to lay it down. Okay, it all started with, first of all, it all started when I interviewed Greg Kidd, and he called XRP the first intergalactic currency, and that always stuck in my head. Okay, I've talked on this channel before that there was a PayPal Galactic in 2013, and remember, where does Elon Musk come from? PayPal. He was one of the original founders. Where he's, in other words, he was from the payment space. Okay, that's where Elon Musk came from. Where's Greg Kidd come from? The payment space. He's one of the first 10 guys at Ripple. All of, and I'll say it again before I show you all this. It's all connected, and all the world's a stage. Do not forget that. There are no coincidences. Remember those things, because it's not, this is not my imagination. You watch what I'm about to show you. So I was just fooling around this morning, and I happened upon this article. If Elon Musk makes it to Mars, then what? These are the hurdles for humans who wish to live on the red planet. Earthlings would have to be able to sustain life. That means growing food and collecting water, and that's to say nothing of a viable economic system. So I went down, I was just looking around, and they had this whole section on how you would run the Mars economy, okay? And of course, that got me to thinking about how you'd have to have a currency or all. So, so anyway, I wanted to take you back. This is back from 2013. This is TechCrunch, okay? With new initiative, Galactic, PayPal wants to own payments and commerce in space. Now, this was in 2013, and then supposedly it just disappeared, okay? All of this just disappeared. I don't think it went anywhere. And I don't think it's just XRP that's going to be an intergalactic currency. I think that these people at PayPal are also connected directly to the Facebook digital asset, and I believe all of them, and also I believe Stellar's in that game. I believe those three are going to be three of these big players in this game, and I'll prove it. So look at this, and this is basically, they're talking about this PayPal Galactic. Then we never hear about it again. But back in 2013, PayPal Galactic did put out this promo video from PayPal Mexico. Watch this.
Space travel is in the midst of a major revolution, from space agencies to space tourism to one-day space colonization. At the same time, money is evolving, from cash to credit cards to online and mobile transactions. In fact, PayPal is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year and is announcing its vision for how payments will support a growing space industry in PayPal Galactic.
Space tourism is opening up to...
You might want to remember that name, David Marcus, PayPal president.
...us in the next decade or so. And we want to make sure that PayPal is the preferred way to pay from space and in space.
This is going to be big, and now is the time to get into this. If you wait several years, it's going to be obvious to everybody.
I think that if we, in fact, are successful at finding ways to work and play in space, we're going to want to be there too, you and me. And inevitably, it's going to need some kind of monetary currency.
PayPal Galactic will tackle the challenges posed by interstellar commerce.
Do you think it's a coincidence that Stellar formed the company Interstellar and their entire website is like a space constellation? No, it's not a coincidence.
Such as keeping customers connected to their accounts when they're miles away.
By the way, I can't remember I think it was it Square? I can't remember the company, but they're a major investor in Stellar, early in Stellar, and Elon Musk was on a I believe Jed McCaleb was on a board, or he was. I'll have to go find it, but anyway, there's direct connections between Stellar and Elon Musk.
From the planet,
PayPal is the favorite way to pay on Earth. And we want to make sure that it is the favorite way to pay in space, from space and to space and beyond.
Okay, so who's David Marcus? Well, David Marcus, as you'll see here on his page, right? I don't know why I didn't make this connection earlier, but David Marcus, I didn't even look at where he was before this, but anyway, so David Marcus was the president of PayPal from 2012 to 2014. He's also a member of the board of directors of Coinbase, okay? Board of directors of Coinbase. But the most important thing that David Marcus is he's a board member. He's the guy in charge of what was called Libra, and they had a little bit of, maybe they didn't want, after the congressional hearings, they wanted to change their name probably. They now call it Diem, D-I-E-M. So he works for Facebook, okay? So David Marcus, the same guy who was heading up PayPal Galactic back in the day, is now in charge of the Diem project, right? And he's also on the Coinbase board of directors. Keep following me. So let's go to the Diem page, the Diem Association. And it looks like the Diem Association is going forward, and they're headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, probably to get around all this, the U.S. stuff, okay? But as you go down here and you look at this is their executive team, and then you keep going down and you get down here and you'll see, then you get down to the board of directors. And there's David Marcus, head of Novi, all right? Board of directors, this is the one I would like you to focus in on. Her name is Katie Huan, general partner of Andreessen Horowitz. Okay, Andreessen Horowitz is an investor in both Coinbase and in Ripple. Early investor, okay? I think that's all I wanted to show you there. Now, Catherine Huan is also on the Coinbase board of directors with David Marcus, right? Do you remember this with Brad Garlinghouse? I think it was yesterday, all of a sudden Brad Garlinghouse pops up on HBO, right? And we had this video clip. The guy that interviewed him was Dan Primick. And then later he released, and I covered this in my video earlier today, Ripple CEO, SEC lawsuits bad for crypto. Same guy puts out the article, and he showed a few things that Brad Garlinghouse had said that had not been in the interview. So, but also, same guy back on December 22nd when the SEC lawsuit came out. SEC lawsuit against crypto firm Ripple could put chill on industry investment. What does he say here? Ripple didn't register XRP as a security before selling it to third-party investors. Instead, it's maintained that XRP is a virtual currency, in part relying on definitions contained in a 2015 settlement with the U.S. Justice Department, whose investigation was led by Catherine Huan, now a partner with early Ripple investor Andreessen Horowitz. Here is the settlement, U.S. Department of Justice, 2015. And on the, if you go down here, you will see Catherine Huan is one of the U.S. attorneys, that assistant United States attorney who signed off on the settlement agreement that called XRP a virtual currency. Now, fast forward to today. This is the this was the document filed by Brad Garlinghouse's attorneys, and what do they reference? Moreover, in 2015 and again in 2020, the Department of Justice and the Department of Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, found XRP to be a virtual currency, requiring Ripple to implement anti-money laundering controls generally not applicable to securities transactions, which it did and continues to do. This is exactly what Catherine Huan was heading up. Then there was this. Who's that?
Now, one of the things
Catherine
I spent my
Huan.
days doing was
Who's
combating
that?
fraud,
Brad
waste, and abuse.
Garlinghouse.
And I think,
and this is in 2018, 3 years after she signed off.
but there are a lot of great use cases right now with this technology to combat fraud, waste, and abuse. I'll give you two examples and why you wouldn't just want a database. One is in the case of Haiti, for example.
Okay, we're not going to listen to a bunch of that, but then I decided I would go on to her LinkedIn page. She's general partner Andreessen Horowitz. You'll see down here she's Coinbase board of directors. She was with the Department of Justice and all of that. Look what she does now, though. What's interesting, she's general partner at Andreessen Horowitz, but she is also a lecturer in management at Stanford University. And I remembered I knew someone else who is a professor, didn't know them, but I know who they are, who's a professor at Stanford University, and that would be Susan Athey, Ripple board member, who just so happens, because this lady, Catherine Huan, design and teach GSB's first course on crypto assets and blockchain technologies with economist Susan Athey. That is December 2017 to present, and that is Susan Athey on the board of directors at Ripple. Don't forget, folks, Unstoppable Domains started their travel-themed premium domain sale. This is at the top of the description of this video. They are set the first 4 hotels, vacations, flights, and tickets.crypto. $100,000, and the prices go down from there. You can browse through there, or you could go and try to pick up one that you want at $40. You just type in the name. This is the home page. Type in a name you're looking for, and you might be able to find a .crypto for $40. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button and tell your friends and family that there are no coincidences. All the world is a stage. Thank you for listening.